Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Ads. I'm Joey Troxel. We are a vegan, I don't even know what to call us anymore. Mostly whole food, sometimes with some processed stuff. And in what we're doing, I try and keep it out, but we're doing a lot of kind of realistic calorie meals with higher protein. I guess I can say it that way. If you like what you hear so far, please hit that like button, show us some love. Click on the subscribe button and become part of the Plant-Based Ads family. I want to quick do a shout out to our Patreon. I always want to have a list of their names and all that, but I'm not sure if that's something they're okay with. So if you're a Patreon, let me know on Patreon if that's something you're interested in me doing. I don't want to offend anyone. Our financial supporters are what help us get the show out to the public. I'm a teacher. I can't afford to buy lots of food and try recipes all week, and then, I just can't afford to do that. So without the financial supporters, the show doesn't happen. If you thought about how can I help, how can I be part of what we're doing here, that's how you can help. You can be a financial supporter. There's a link to Patreon and PayPal in the description below this video. Tim is in Florida for the weekend because our nephew Logan is graduating. Logan and Lex are graduating the same month. They're both ending high school. Logan just ended this weekend. Lex has 1 week left. He's done with his classes, but tomorrow's Monday. He has to turn in his Chromebook and his supplies. And Thursday's his graduation. The whole family will be out here for his graduation. It is a hectic week, but it is just me and Lex this weekend. And one of the things Lex and I used to love was Panda Express, the Beyond chicken they had there. It was the orange Beyond chicken. You go to Panda Express and you get the chicken and the rice and the veggies. Well, they had Beyond chicken, so in the orange sauce. And it was so good. I know it was horrible for you, but it was so good. And we would go there, I don't know, 3 times a week when they had it. It was years ago. And, they never had it. They were always out of it. I don't understand why they only had a temporary, thing with it or a trial time, because every time we were there, it was a 45-minute wait while they made more. So they were constantly selling out of it, yet they only had it for a short time and it was gone. Well, we loved it. And today I'm going to show you how I do our crispy orange seitan. You can do this with tofu also. It works really well. But that orange sauce is amazing. It's such a good, knockoff. I don't want to say it's a knockoff because it's actually a completely different recipe, but it's such a good kind of copycat of their recipe in a much more healthier way. And of course, it's all plant-based. So check out the video. I'm going to show you how we did this. You're going to be amazed at how simple it is. And for the calories that I'm giving you in this, that includes the rice and the side of broccoli. It's a whole plate of food for under 400 calories. Let's get to the food. Our crispy orange seitan recipe with the side of rice and the broccoli comes in at 381 calories, 39.4 grams of protein, and 1 gram of fat. It's a great plant-based option for a lot of protein under 400 calories. Let me show you how it's done. In a cold pot, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup or 140 grams of sugar. We're using the 0-calorie monk's fruit sweetener, 4 tablespoons of white vinegar, 1/3 of a cup of low-sodium soy sauce, 1/4 of a cup of water, the zest of 1 orange, the juice of 1 orange, and optional 1 tablespoon of orange marmalade. We're going to turn the heat on and set that to medium heat. And we're going to start by whisking that together here to get that all combined while the heat starts coming up. It's an induction cooktop, so it's going to heat up very fast. And we're just going to bring this up to a boil. All right, you can see here it's starting to boil, so I'm just going to turn the heat down to simmer and let it simmer for 8 to 10 minutes. We're just looking for this to reduce about 25%. While that's steaming for 8 to 10 minutes, you can totally put in 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. All right, that's been simmering for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna take a little bit of cornstarch. I have 1 to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I use 2 mixed with 2 tablespoons of water. And I've kind of mixed it up and let it sit for a few minutes to create a little slurry. And I'm gonna dump all of that in here. And I'm gonna whisk this together to kind of get this to thicken up and let it cook for, another minute or 2 until it gets to be nice and thick. I can see it is starting to thicken up and become a glaze here, which is really nice. Oh yeah. Let me see if I can show you that. You can see here, it's like a glaze. This is perfect. I'm gonna shut the heat off here. And get the rest of that mixed together. Oh, that is very nice. Look at that. It's even starting to trail over here, or trace, or whatever you want to call it. Very nice. All right, to this, I'm gonna add about 4 cloves of grated garlic, and you wanna add it in after it's done, not before that, otherwise the garlic will turn bitter. I've also got about 1 inch of grated ginger, and I'm popping in there. And then I've got some red chili peppers or red hot peppers from the garden, and some green serrano peppers. So I'm gonna toss all that in there too. And I'm just gonna mix all these together with the whisk and just let them steep. That's it. I don't want it to cook anymore. I'm just gonna let it steep so all those flavors can get to know each other. Look how good that sauce looks. That's gonna be perfect on the seitan. Oh, holy smoke, I can't wait. All right, let the sauce steep and do its thing. Now it's time to start coating our seitan. We're gonna start with 1/2 cup of chickpea flour, and we're gonna mix it with 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And I'm just gonna whisk that together to get it all going. And this is optional. You can sprinkle in a little bit of salt if you want, but the recipe does have quite a bit of salt in it already. And I'm gonna make sure that gets all combined here. And then we're gonna toss in 1 whole package of the Franklin Farms seitan. It comes already like chopped up into these little pieces. And this is the whole package. It's 513 grams. You could use tofu for this, but we're just gonna use the seitan. And I'm gonna get all of this coated with the flour here, the flour mixture, so we can get these nice and crispy. Every little groove has to be coated. Because the seitan comes soaked in water, it's already really moist, so we don't need to do like a dredge with like flax or some wet substance and then coat it with the flour. The flour is just gonna stick right to it just because it's already so like moistened from the package, from being in the package. And you can see right here, like it sticks really nice to it. So this is gonna be perfect for throwing in the skillet. All right, so I've got a skillet here on medium heat, and I did put a little bit of spray oil on here. And I wanna make sure it's hot, and it is. I'm gonna start putting in my seitan. Just gonna get it all in there. I'm just gonna move it around and try and get it to cook here and get it to brown a little bit. Obviously, it would be better if you just deep fried this, but that's not an option here. You can add water to it just to kind of get it to steam a little bit. That's probably a good idea.
Okay, so we have the temperature up high. We want this to sort of brown and not be soggy. So you can kind of see what's kind of happening now. It's sort of tumbling around. You can feel it with the spatula if it's feels moist or like heavy kind of. So really the key is just to have this in a hot pan. But see how that's not like sticking to the pan at all? This has a really good like bouncy feel to it. Just gonna let this cook just a little bit, then we'll give it another toss. Okay, you can see this has some color. It's been sitting for a little bit. I'm gonna stir it now, and we'll see what it looks like. We got a runaway piece.
All right, so I'm gonna turn up the heat at this point, get it into a little bowl, and we'll kind of get the sauce on top of this and plate it up. Let's go. We're gonna serve this with some broccoli and rice. Now, for the broccoli, I have my own recipe that I absolutely love. And Tim says to tell you we've been using it for years. This is the frozen broccoli from Costco. It comes in 4 of these bags right here that you just throw in the microwave. So that's what I did. They are bigger pieces, so I like to kind of take my scissor and kind of cut them into smaller pieces. And one of these bags is a pound, so it's 2 cups. So one of these bags is gonna be 2 servings, and the whole recipe that we're making today makes 4. So I'm gonna be using 2 of these bags of broccoli. This is one of them right here. So this is 2 servings of broccoli. You can see I'm just going around and cutting up the broccoli florets so they're not so big. I hate eating like big pieces of broccoli. I just want them like bite-sized. If you're not OCD about this and this doesn't bother you, then you go right ahead and just use it the way it is. All right, you can see that I have it in the strainer. So when you cook it in the microwave, there is like water in it, it's watery. So I put it in the strainer and I strained it over the sink. There's nothing in it, so it's ready to go into the bowl. And here's what I do. This is a really simple way to make broccoli taste really good. I take this chopped dried onion here from Costco, and I just sprinkle a bunch of this on. Right there. It's actually little dehydrated onions. And then I put some garlic salt on. So I'm gonna If you're staying away from salt, then just put garlic powder on or whatever, but I ain't afraid of salt, so I'm putting that on. And then I've got some of this Ninja Squirrel sriracha sauce. I'm gonna pour some of that on here. All right, there's not a lot of calories in there, so there you go. And if you wanted to, you could put a little bit of sesame seeds on, totally optional. I'm just gonna sprinkle a bit in. And I'm just gonna kind of mix all this up so the sriracha covers all of the broccoli and it's not just on like 5 pieces that are really hot. All right, you can see it's kind of all just coming together. This is really simple. I mean, you don't have to do any sauteing or anything. You just take the microwave broccoli out, throw it in the bowl, throw these spices on, and it is ready to go. All right, look at that. You can see all the spices on there. That's gonna be perfect on our plate. Let's throw it all together. All right, so it's time to sauce up our seitan. This little bit of seitan that's left is all that's left because while we were waiting for the microwave to cook all the broccoli, Tim and Lex ate half the recipe. We're gonna take some of our sauce here and just enough to cover it and pop that in there. And I'm gonna stir this together and make sure every nook and cranny gets filled in with that sauce. If you have to add more sauce, that's fine. We want this totally like filled in with the sauce. You can see here, that's what's happening. Oh man, this looks so good. I can tell you, we've been eating this and I mean, we almost ate the whole thing just making it, showing you how to do it. Like there's gonna be nothing left for meals, but it is so delicious. This meal at Panda Express, when it was the Beyond Chicken, this was all of our favorite meals. So, and here it is right in front of us. All right, so there you go, that's ready to go. There is a bunch of sauce left if you want to put it like on rice or whatever, and that's fine. So let's plate this up. All right, we've got our nice little black plate here. We never use this thing, but we thought it would be fun here for this situation. And we've got some sticky rice here that we're gonna use as a little side right here. This is about 75 grams, or about a half a cup. And then to get the macros out of here, you need half of that one package of broccoli because broccoli has protein in it. And for this to get the 40 grams of protein, you need all of that serving. So that's 1/2 of that package of broccoli right there. It's not a nice that's a nice portion of broccoli right there. I might throw some nooch on that. And then you put 1/4 of the recipe of the seitan on your plate. The recipe makes 4 servings. Now, if you're inclined to do so, you can sprinkle a little sesame seed action on top of the seitan and all around the plate. And nooch is always a good idea on top of broccoli, a little extra protein. And now we're just adding a little bit of scallions on here. And now Chef Tim is putting a little sliced scallions on, just to make it look really fancy, because it's a fancy show. And there you have it, a beautiful plate of crispy orange seitan. It's a great plant-based version of the Panda recipe. For under 400 calories, this big old bowl of food, that's amazing. You just gotta make this, you're not gonna be disappointed. All right, so a few things about that. After I was editing, I realized I need to explain a few things. One, that pan looks like it's loaded with oil, right? And that's not the case. I did use a spray of oil, the 1/4 second, and there wasn't much in it, but I did take one of those silicone brushes and brushed it all around the pan. So that little like 1/4 second spray, I made sure to spread out on the entire pan. And then I've got lights shining down so you could see, you know, because I got an overhead camera, because it's a fancy show. So you can see all that, and the lights are just reflecting in that little thin like coat of oil. So I lightly oiled the pan, and you don't have to do any of that. You can just take the coated, you know, seitan and throw it in the air fryer. I really wanted it to mimic or to feel like I was eating the Orange Beyond Chicken from Panda Express. I wanted the whole feel, so I did that. And the calories like were just nothing. It was 1/4 of a spray. So, I mean, if you're no oil and all that, then don't do that. But, I mean, we're not a no oil channel anymore, and that's just not the way it is. But I still don't want oil because it's loaded with calories. So 1/4 of a second of spray, I was fine with. But anyway, I wanted to explain that for sure. This recipe is pretty high in sodium because of the soy sauce. So if this is if you're not able to have higher salt recipes, don't make this. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm using low sodium soy sauce, but you know, low sodium soy sauce is still low sodium. So maybe this isn't the recipe for you and just move on to something else. You can also use this recipe with tofu. It doesn't really matter whether you use seitan or tofu. I use seitan because it already came chopped up like, you know, like little pieces of chicken would, right? So, I mean, it's ready to go. I just dumped it, strained it out, got the water out, and rolled it up in that powder, and it was ready to go. This came together very fast. I loved this. I would say that you don't want to use 2 serrano peppers because While Lex loved it, it was just too spicy for him to eat. Make it with either one serrano pepper or no serrano peppers at all. But you can make it yours. It is a fantastic recipe. It's a whole plate of food. I had to make it twice because we made it for the week in this video, and then we ate like almost all of it just making it for the video. So it was kind of depressing because I didn't have any for the week. So I was like, okay, we're making this again. So we just threw another whole batch together right away. And it was already like 10 o'clock at night while we were filming. All right, I've got a crazy week here. While you're watching this, my sisters are getting here. You know I have my sister April. She's got a channel right here, Mediterranean Maiden, where she does all sorts of Mediterranean stuff. But I also have another sister, Melissa. And they're about a year apart. But they're both like, Melissa's 16 years younger than me and April's 18 years younger than me. We have the same parents. Our parents just started having like kids again after, you know, I was 16. And that whole thing is another whole story. But they're here this week, and it is complete mayhem. It's always an all-out like family fest of doing stuff together, and we really enjoy each other's time. So that's what's happening this week. Lex's graduation is on Thursday. This video will be out on Tuesday. Lex's graduation is Thursday. I'm part of the graduation ceremony because I'm one of the line enders in the process. Not only am I on the field with Lex, but I'm a line ender, which means the grads go up, they get their diploma, but it's an empty tube. They step down and they all have these specific lines based on their last name. And the guy at the end of the line is holding the diplomas. The actual one goes, what's your name? Here's your diploma. What's your name? Here's your diploma. I'm at the end of Lex's line. I'll be handing him his diploma, his high school diploma. So, and I get chills just thinking about it, right? So it's pretty exciting. I can't wait to do it. He knows I've told him just so he's not surprised and goes, oh, really? Because that'll be his reaction. All right, the end of high school is near for him, and the end of the work year is near for me because I won't be working. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm working all summer, but I'm doing professional development and taking the students on a trip and all that. So I guess I am working. The glamorous life of a teacher. You've got the summers off, right? I don't know who said that, but that's not true. All right, that's our video for today. Hit that like button. Show us some love. We've got crispy orange seitan on a whole plate with rice and broccoli for under 400 calories. What's not to love? Click on the subscribe button. You're gonna get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Tuesday. And leave a comment below. I mean, have you thought about making this? I love me some Asian food. I don't get it out much because it's just, I don't know. I don't know that there's a lot of MSG and all that. But when you make it at home, it's a sure thing. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.